All right, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic edition of the Fresh Eggs podcast here on FingerLakes1.com. I, of course, am Paul Russo. If you didn't know that by now, across from me, he's really eager. He's a bit on the edge right now because his beloved Fighting Irish are on TV and he's missing it. But, Nick, you doing all right over there? You hanging in tough?
Well, Paul, it is 2019, and there's these phone things you got these days. I'm never missing nothing.
I know, you just look nervous over there. That's all I'm saying.
I just realized we have these cups here, and I spilled a little water. I'm sorry, Jim. But the show will go on.
We'll get that cleaned up here. Can confirm.
Paul, big day yesterday.
It was a big day for us Cuse fans, and we'll discuss that a little bit. But before we get into our topics, just a little quick shout out again about our call-in system. No calls again this week. Very disappointed, but hey, it's there. It's a great service. 866-315-3591, extension 804 for us. Takes, questions, suggestions that we should be paying attention to in the sports world. We're about it because we're about to really enter into a little bit of a lull in the sports time. One of the laws throughout the year in sports time, admittedly, right, Nick? You know, NFL gets over here. Super Bowl's coming up now in about 2.5 weeks.
Golf season's back.
Golf season is slightly back, admittedly.
Australian Open is in progress.
But we do have about a month and a half still until regular season baseball gets underway. Actually, no, more than that, really. About 2 full months, give or take, depending upon the way you look at it.
Yes. College basketball in full swing.
As much as I am a NASCAR fan, most of you guys out there probably don't really enjoy me bantering about that.
There are people.
But really, other than that, you got college basketball, you got the NBA, you got NHL, but some of those storylines kind of get cut up and dry, obviously. And so, trust me, we want your questions, want your takes. If you guys have someone out there that we should be paying attention to in those specific sports, we'll take them for sure. But yeah, so give us a call in. Obviously, we'll greatly accept it. We'll greatly appreciate it. Correct, Nick?
Correct, Paul.
All right, with that in mind, we'll jump into our topics that we have for the day. Kind of have a jumbled up list here. We're going to not really jump around. It's mostly in order, but obviously we'll discuss the big win last night for Syracuse. Obviously, relatively big ACC implications, at least for the immediate future, that's for sure. In that game, we'll touch on some of the stuff there. Obviously, the NFL divisional round this past weekend. We'll preview the championship round this upcoming weekend. The latest on Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. MLB free agency trend has a really interesting situation going on here the past couple of years, and we'll touch on that a little bit and about how slow it's been, some reasons behind that, and what it means really for maybe not quite the true immediate future, but that CBA is expiring here in about 3 years. 2 years now, actually.
And Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Kyler Murray. We'll probably get that in, I think, in between the NFL and the Bryce Harper, Manny Machado stuff. But yeah, we'll discuss that. Obviously, the big news, him declaring for the NFL draft, what it means not only for the Oakland A's, who have his rights for baseball and who we played already a season for in the minors, but what it means for baseball as a whole, what it means for the NFL as a whole.
And I think they still have about 30 hours to make a decision, the A's?
Yeah, well, the MLB is kind of giving them some leeway. We'll get into that a little bit because it's really interesting, the dynamic there and the rules. Not just within the CBA, but other stuff as well.
Yes.
That goes even as deep as tampering, technically, from what I've looked at. So we'll get into that, but we'll jump right in, though, with Cuse
Great game.
Duke last night. The Orange outlasting the Blue Devils 95-91 in overtime. Really great game. You didn't have to be a fan, I think, of either team. I got some text from some college friends saying how, and they don't like either team, to be frank. They hate both teams, but they said how great
Who are they a fan of?
Some Pitt fans, some Ohio State fans. But yeah, they talked about how great of a game that was, actually, just being a pure fan of the sport. And it really was a tremendous game. A lot of back and forth. Very big shot at halftime. Buzzer beater for Elijah Hughes. Looking back on it now, obviously it means a difference. And my boss Jim Smina put it the best way. Basketball is an amoeba, the way it plays and everything like that. But certainly interesting how that one shot really actually did make a difference, numerically speaking. Anyway, the main thing for Duke, we'll touch there first. The main thing for Duke. They lost Trey Jones last night for sure a few games, the way it sounds from Coach K. Injured his shoulder about, 5 or so minutes into the game, somewhere in there.
Whenever the turnover stopped occurring for Syracuse, because he was a big factor.
Yeah, and so he'll be out a few games. Cam Radish was out with an illness.
He might be out a lot, though.
Who?
There's rumors Trey Young could be out, or not Trey Young. Trey Jones could be out for the season. This is an injury that they're for sure saying the next few games, probably through at least next week for sure. Yes. Obviously, they're not gonna. You're not obviously going to say the full-fledged deal just yet. Reddish was just sick, right?
Yeah, Reddish was just sick. He played a big, obviously pivotal role. Their game Saturday against Florida State, hitting the game winner down there.
I still don't understand how Duke got the ball in that game.
Zion, well, there was a lot of questionable calls for sure.
Yes.
In that game, and also the Syracuse game both ways. I think that's true, but either way, Zion Williamson played obviously great ball, 35 points, 10 rebounds. He got himself a double-double. Same thing for R.J. Barrett, 23 points, 16 rebounds.
22 Barrett, missed shots.
That's a big thing. I was actually going to bring up. His volume was very big. He also collected 9 assists, though, so that was very interesting. Yeah. I believe it was, I'm not too sure, I want to say it was Jack White went like 0 for 12 or something like that from 3. I'm not sure the exact number. I know he was 0 for like 10 at one point in overtime.
I think what he finished was 0 for 10, 0 for 11, something like that. And, but he can shoot.
He can shoot, but man, he was extremely off last night. Then if you look at it for Syracuse, man, it was a very positive night in my opinion for Pascal Chukwu. He collected a double-double, 10
MVP
points,
of the game.
18 rebounds. And then obviously Dolzaj. Dolzaj didn't get any points, but he probably had one of the most important plays of the game, taking that charge from Zion. Just trucked him. Well, it was a great play, obviously. Elijah Hughes played another tremendous game. He had 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. He led the way tied with Tyus Battle in terms of minutes played for Syracuse. Tyus, 32 points. Very big night for Tyus Battle. Played extremely well. I thought as well, despite being in foul trouble, that Frank Howard played tremendous.
Yeah, he had some big shots. Brissett had some big shots.
Brissett played very well in the second half, obviously. Buddy Boeheim hit a 3, I believe it was end of the first half, I think it was. Other than that, though, Syracuse did play 9. Duke played 10. Duke played 10. Syracuse played 9. But it was certainly a gassed game for both teams. It was fun to watch. Nick, I'll throw it over to you. Obviously, you were no dog in the fight, except maybe in the hatred category. But what was your takeaways from those games?
I'm not a huge fan of both teams, but I like Syracuse.
You look dapper, by the way. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, thanks,
you look
man.
very good.
So do you, man.
I try. You look better, though. That's a nice color.
Well, I had an interview today. Big day. I try to... Okay, anyway, about the game. So I'll go with what Jim Boeheim said. They came in with the same intensity that they had in the Georgia Tech game that they had to do games. Not like they're like, yeah, there's some times where you're like, okay, we're going to take this team lightly. No, they're going to come in. They got to try to win both games. Not like they're thinking about losing the game. They're going to try to win both games. They just so happened to hit a lot of shots yesterday.
Yeah.
And Duke missed a lot of shots. I don't even know how, when you really look at it, when you think about it, Duke missed a lot of shots and Syracuse made a lot of shots.
A lot of bricks for Duke yesterday.
Yes, a lot of really bad shots.
Yeah.
And Tyus Battle stepped up in the first half, but Pascal Chukwu was the MVP, getting those big offensive rebounds in the second half.
Yep.
If he plays like that, Syracuse can be good. Elijah Hughes, he didn't really do anything. I don't think he even scored in the second. I think he scored in overtime. But he didn't do much after that half-court shot at the halftime. It was mostly Frank Howard and Brissett who were hitting some clutch shots in the second half of that game. That was very huge. And Dolezaj, it was cool. He took that charge. Not really much of a factor in the game. Couldn't because you had to keep Chukwu in the game. And first time really watching Zion play, and that guy is a beast. I can't wait to watch him play for the Knicks next year. But he's a beast. He really impressed me. Barrett didn't really show me much. Barrett missed a lot of shots.
He missed a lot, but he also carried a large volume of scoring. 23 points. And, I mean, 16 board. He was an assist shy of a triple-double.
I don't know why they didn't give it to O'Connell more late in that game.
Yeah, that was weird.
He was going off.
The end of that game, too, was also weird, now you mention it, because Duke held the ball for almost 45 seconds.
Yes.
Almost like they lost track of like what the score was. Like, it was very weird.
Syracuse should have won this game regulation because that was not a foul at the end of that game.
Oh, no
The guy hit, Chukwu hit the backboard clearly. And Syracuse could have lost at the end of regulation if Zion, I don't know how you say it, didn't make both those free throws.
The way he says it, it's Zion, but he prefers Zion the way it sounds over the loudspeakers.
Yeah, so if he makes both those free throws, Syracuse probably losing that game in regulation is going to be a heartbreaker, and what a terrible call to lose on. Got a chance at overtime. Didn't know how it would fare. Syracuse came out hot overtime. Duke battled back. And Syracuse dominated. I mean, a lot of people thought the game was over when it was 11-0 there. That happens in basketball a lot. Sure, Duke could have blown them out, but there's a lot of time left in that game. And clearly, Syracuse battled back. They down one at halftime. After that huge three. Yeah, they played well. Wouldn't be surprised if Syracuse loses to Pittsburgh this week. They just got to shoot well.
It's a lot like the Georgia Tech game. My dad's not a Syracuse fan by any means.
Who's he like?
He likes UCLA. But he asked me before he went to the game. He goes, "All right, so what's the deal?" I'm like, "Well, Syracuse should beat Georgia Tech, but of course that means they won't." And of course it was a trap game. It was a typical I'll call Syracuse trap game. You know what I mean? Where they should clobber them by all means, and they're the ones that get clobbered.
Georgia Tech can play some defense, though.
They were a team, I think, at the beginning of the year for ACC I said to watch out, only because of the way that coach plays. He's the old coach from Memphis. So
Josh Pastner.
Yeah.
He held Virginia Tech to 50-something points. Guy can play defense. I'm intrigued to see what he does against Duke and North Carolina and Virginia and those teams. Mm-hmm. See how they really fare, but they're not a bottom dweller in this ACC.
No, certainly not by any means. And obviously you brought up Cuse's home at the Dome Saturday against Pitt.
Yep. One thing I'll say about the Duke game.
Yeah.
Trey Jones is a loss. Oh, he's a huge loss. But he's not Zion. A lot of people are saying, ooh, he's a bigger loss than Zion. No, get the hell out of here. No, it's not. Zion's the biggest piece to this team. Trey Jones will be a huge loss. I mean, that's their point guard.
Yeah.
I will pick Virginia this weekend when they play them.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game to watch. I would imagine that's probably gonna be game day.
It is game day.
Yeah. So,
and it'd be weird to see Duke lose 2 straight home games.
By the way, can we discuss quickly? We got a couple of seconds we can use here with it. How weird Krzyzewskiville is getting. Like, did you see the piece on that during the game? Yeah.
Yeah,
I knew they did it. I'm pretty sure every bigger college does it. Syracuse does it, but they don't do it for as long as this.
Yeah, when is that game?
That UNC game's not until like sometime in February,
and they're
like mid-February.
I thought they were doing it for the Virginia game.
No, but like you have to have it. They do like a quiz. So I got this from Barstool, I believe. One of their contributors, I think it was Hubs who tweeted it. Who did an article about Hubs? He's one of the guy at Barstool.
Oh, okay.
I believe. So they have like a quiz thing you have to do. And if you're like one of the top 70 people in the quiz, and like this quiz, like you have to do in an hour, but you can't use the internet. Your only resources are like the 11 other people that you're going to be in the tent with.
Really?
These are like 12-person tents. And yeah, if you like score in the top whatever, I think top like 70 get like their pick. They're called the black tents. and they're like the prime tents that you want. But like you have to have 10 people in the tent at all time.
How big is it?
And they have people going through at night and checking to make sure there's at least 10 of you in the tent. Like, it's insane. Like, you're 100% missing classes.
Every day?
Every day. You're 100% missing classes. Like, it's not even, like, it's asinine to me, like, why you would do that.
Till February when that
This
UNC
is like,
game
yeah,
is?
whenever the tickets go on sale or whatever for it. It's a mid-February game, I believe. Could be wrong.
Well, Duke's tiny gym to begin with.
I don't care. I wouldn't be
students?
I wouldn't be sitting. I wouldn't be camping out for a month.
I heard it was 30 degrees there.
It was
yesterday when they were at the game.
It was. That's a heat wave for us recently, but that's damn cold down the
Speaking of
the Piedmont.
You know, there's a big storm coming out this weekend.
Stop! I'm not looking forward to that, man. Speaking of storm, boy, oh boy, the Tom Brady caused one this weekend in the divisional round.
Yes, he did.
We all thought he was donezo. Well, we were wrong because Brady did Brady things. And but both games, all four matchups rather. We have championship rematches going on this weekend. That'll be fun. But before we get to that, let's discuss what happened this past weekend because certainly interesting.
It was a good weekend for us.
It was a good weekend for us.
Eagles and Cowboys are gone.
Well, we got 2/3 of the teams out of the way.
Yes.
But we still got, obviously, the Patriots in there. Let's start, though, with the game that we actually went out to watch, and that was the Colts-Chiefs. We were all hoping for a better matchup than it was. Uncharacteristically, Adam Vinatieri missed an extra point, missed a field goal.
It didn't matter.
Yeah, it definitely obviously didn't matter.
It could have helped.
I mean, it might have. It's certainly an interesting, place you put yourself at if you actually get that field goal. Extra point, maybe not so much, but that field goal, obviously, you lose points on a drive, and that can shake things up. But yeah, the Patrick Mahomes played extremely well, first time really in that type of weather.
First playoff game. Gets another round of that weather. We'll get into that, like I said, with the championship stuff when we discuss it for a few minutes. But yeah, man, the Colts really couldn't get exactly anything going. I didn't think the offense looked maybe too bad, especially off the bat, but they certainly weren't in the same game that the Chiefs were, I thought. No. The Chiefs, if that defense plays like they played on Saturday, watch out, New England. They might get beat. I can't wait for this game. I knew the Chargers were not gonna win the game. A lot of people were picking the Chargers. I didn't like the pick. I thought the Chargers.
Didn't you pick the Chargers with us last week?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I had Lions, Patriots in my Super Bowl.
That's true.
I think, I don't know. It was a while ago. I have to look back at it. But I didn't think the Chargers because the Patriots are now, 12-1 in divisional round games? And that's remarkable.
They've made
12 AFC championship games.
What is it, like 8 straight or something like that?
8 straight. They're LeBron James of the AFC. I
forget what caused it, but Pat asked me. It's funny you mentioned that. Like, which is harder, like making 8 straight NBA conference finals or football doing 8 straight?
Gotta be football.
I mean, it's 100% football
because basketball you can win with one player.
I mean, think about it though. Football, this is the longevity of it.
I know. That's something. Insane. It's definitely something when we're like 40. Like, man, remember those Patriots teams that dominated?
I don't want to remember them.
No, but it was still not. I can't wait. As much as people wanted to see Chargers Chiefs, I mean mostly Chargers fans, but Chiefs Patriots. Remember the last time they played? That was a hell of a game.
Yeah, so that's going to be a fun game.
It's like you got the young guy versus the old guy, and I can't wait to watch it. I love to pick the Chiefs, but damn, so many times the Patriots go to the Super Bowl.
Well, hold on to your picks. We'll get to that in a few minutes here.
All right.
We'll move on to the other game that occurred on Saturday. The Cowboys lose to the Rams 30-22 in a game that was heavily fought and ended with a little bit of fisticuffs at the end of the game with Amari Cooper and Marcus Peters. That game was really weird, man. The Rams did an outstanding job stopping the run. He only allowed 50 rush yards. I believe that's right. But they held Zeke very well.
Yes.
I don't understand the Cowboys, and this is where you can't blame Dak. You can't blame any of those players. This is on coaching. Amari Cooper all night was roasting Marcus Peters on the field. I don't understand in the final minutes of that game when you're driving and it's the game-winning and it's game-deciding drive, how you don't go to Amari Cooper.
I know he had a touchdown earlier in the game.
None of the routes he had were routes that were, for play routes in the play that were designed to get the ball to him. I don't get it. Like what were that falls on Garrett, that falls on Linehan, that falls on that coaching staff. It really does because the defense played tremendously well, I thought, overall. Not a ton they could have done there, especially in the second half, man. It felt like the Rams were on the field a lot on offense.
Yeah, what was that Colts game?
Yeah.
It was 40-20.
Yeah. But
Time possession is huge.
Yeah, I mean, that Cowboys-Rams game, we watched that back here in town, and yeah, good. I mean, if you're a Cowboys, obviously it's good for us. We don't like the Cowboys, and kind of like one of those same things with Duke. When Duke loses, America wins. Yeah. When Cowboys lose, America wins. But, man, if you're a Cowboys fan, I'd be really steaming, not at any of the players, but I feel like I'd be steaming at the coaching staff again.
Yeah. And Jason Garrett, put him on the hot seat.
And they want to extend him. I don't get it.
And they want to sign Dak Prescott.
I understand Dak a little bit more, but I don't understand.
Do you think Dak Prescott can win a Super Bowl?
I mean, I don't know if he'll win a Super Bowl, but who's better available right now to get?
But when you're the Cowboys, you want to win a Super Bowl.
Every
team wants to win.
I understand.
But the expectations are higher.
Let me explain it to you like this: being a Redskins fan and where we were in this position last year, Kirk Cousins probably isn't worth the money that he got in Minnesota, right?
Record-wise, no. But he's better in Case Keenum.
But who better? And obviously, we take the Alex Smith trade out of it because we're looking from a free agent standpoint. Who else better could you have gotten free agent wise
last year?
Yes, and they weren't in a position. You got to remember they weren't in a position to really draft a quarterback either. Nobody wanted to trade. Nobody wanted to trade with us.
I still think Alex Smith is a good pick.
I'm saying though, you have to take the trade out of it at that point because. That happened really pretty much after the fact. Who else was better available at that point than Kirk Cousins?
No.
So who, at this point, I don't care. I think Dak is better than Foles overall at this point in their careers.
Sure.
I think Foles fits, obviously, a system better than Dak would. But so who's better than Dak this year free agent-wise?
Free agent-wise?
Yeah.
Is Joe Flacco free agent?
No. Technically, no.
Oh. Well, I mean, I've heard of Flacco, and I've heard of Nick Foles as potential guys that could be on different teams.
But there's no one. Who can you go get?
Oh, free agents.
Yeah.
No one. No one's better than Dak Prescott.
You gotta ride with Dak. I don't think Dak is that bad. I really don't.
But I'd rather ride with Flacco.
I don't know about that either, but
I mean, you're talking about Nick.
I'd
rather ride with Nick Foles.
Dak
Nick
can run.
Foles and Flacco have done it.
I know Dak can run, but obviously it's a little bit of a different discussion once we get back on the playoff track.
No, I get you. I personally just don't think Dak's a good quarterback. I think if the Cowboys sign Dak, I will pop a bottle of champagne because I will be very excited because the Cowboys, it's more years of not winning a Super Bowl, not even going to the NFC title game. It's like it's been 25 plus years now. Come on. How many teams have been to the Super Bowl? I know there's a bunch that still haven't, but damn, Cowboys. It's nice to see. Nice to see them struggle. They always lose that divisional round. Always nice. It's like LeBron losing the finals. But to Paul's point, yeah, there is no free agent better than Dak Prescott. They're going to ride with Dak, no doubt.
So we'll move on then from that game. Not much, I think, to really say truly about the Chargers-Patriots game.
Where were the Chargers?
Man, defensively, where were they? They played pretty flat.
I know.
They didn't blitz really at all.
You think they
no
scored
pressure
30
on
points?
Brady, but Brady did Brady things. So
when the Chargers scored 30 points, you think they'd be at least in that game.
yeah,
They gave up 40-something points, and it wasn't
21 of which were in the first quarter.
Yes.
So no, 28. Was it 28 or was it 21? No, they got that 28th.
I don't know.
They had that 28th early in the second. So
Yes. It wasn't a game. It wasn't a game at all. And it's just like
the fun game. I thought the fun game of the weekend was the Eagles Saints.
yes.
Because you had the Eagles jump out early, the Saints come back.
Yep.
Alshon, I have the best hands in the NFL. Jeffrey, boofs a catch, leading to the game-sealing interception.
I love it. I love Jeffrey, man.
So
5 years.
that game was fun to watch. I thought. Yeah, I mean, you have Peterson already saying Foles is not Foles. Wentz will start. So pretty much put Foles in limbo. I don't think they'll pick up his option. Obviously, no sense in keeping around a $20 million backup. So
No.
not officially yet a free agent, but yeah. Quick thoughts on that game, Nick? Anything? Or?
It was fun to watch. It wasn't the most exciting game in the world because the Eagles just literally stopped scoring. I mean, I'm going to defend my boy Alshon Jeffrey here. Even if he catches that pass, no guarantee they're going to score.
No,
they haven't scored since the first quarter.
But it puts them in them obviously in a better spot.
Absolutely. I'm happy the Eagles are out, but I think a lot of people are thinking Chiefs-Patriots going to be a good game. Watch out. Saints-Rams going to be a hell of a game,
yeah,
too.
that game offensively is going to be fun, obviously. And
I hope they both put up 50 points. As much as
why don't we get to that seamless transition?
Mm-hmm.
First game for the conference championships on Sunday. The NFC is up first, 3:05 game on Fox. We finally get Aikman and Buck off a Cowboys game.
Yeah, they can't call anymore now.
The Rams are going to the Superdome to face the New Orleans Saints. Who you got?
I gotta go Saints. But I can see the Rams winning. It's a toss-up.
Yeah, this is a toss-up game for sure.
It's a toss-up for me. I can see both of them in the Super Bowl. I can see Breeze making a late run, another Super Bowl. I can see Goff making his first big name in the big stage. I just want to see 50-50. I want to see a 50-50 game. Some people say that's not a good game. I want to see it. I'd love to see the next one. The next one could be high scoring. They could both be putting up. Like, if there's an over-under on the two games, God, it could be about 120.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I like the Saints. Saints are who I picked.
Nice shot
Thanks,
there.
man. I switch it up a little bit. Saints are who I picked to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year, so I'm obviously going to pick them in this game. I think they're going to win anyway.
You had Saints what?
I had Saints Texans.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'm kind of all in on the Saints on this one, so that's who I'm going to go with.
Not a bad pick.
I'm really intrigued to find out what that over-under ends up ending at, though, on the betting line. So, and then for the AFC Championship game, 6:40, that game is on CBS, I believe, which means they'll get Nance and Romo. The Patriots go to the Chiefs. It will be a chilly game. Next one you got. Featuring a blood moon, by the way.
A blood moon.
Yes.
Cold game. I just want to see a hell of a game. I want to see a hell of a day. But I'm going to go Brady. I'm going to go Mahomes. This is going to be a learning process for Mahomes. Someday will be his day.
Just this Sunday is what you're saying.
I'd love to see Brady versus Breeze. See Breeze beat his ass.
Yeah, that will be a fun Super Bowl if that were the case.
It'd be very. I think either any of the Super Bowls be rating wise would be good. Least would probably be Chiefs Rams. But then again, you got two really young quarterbacks in that game. So, and it's just Andy Reid's never won a Super Bowl, right?
Andy Reid has not. He's been to a Super Bowl, but not won one.
That was a while ago.
Yeah,
the last Eagles
against the Patriots, by the way.
Andy Reid, though, he's a good coach. You think maybe this is finally his run. He's finally got a really good quarterback. I mean, no offense. Alex Smith was good.
R.I.P.
But I don't know. I like the Patriots in this game. 34-31. Overtime. Gostkowski game winner.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to make some of you cringe. I think the Patriots win this one pretty handily, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's only supposed to be a high of 2, apparently, at the moment during the game. And Brady in cold weather is damn near shut down. Obviously, Mahomes, not used to this cold. Obviously, got a little bit of experience with it this past week, but nothing single-digit wise. So, yeah, I'd say the Patriots, I'll go like on a 35 to like 19 win.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think it'll end up well, unfortunately, for the Chiefs. But, man, it's really hard for me to go against Brady in cold weather. Maybe this is the jinx we need, though. Maybe I'm providing the jinx we need as America to finally get Brady.
So you don't think Mahomes and them are going to show up? You don't think Mahomes and them are going to show up?
I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to show up. I think it will be hard for that offense to get going in that weather.
Yeah.
So
it is their weather, Kansas City, but
so that's where
I just hope they're good games. I really do.
We can all hope. So like I said earlier at the start of the show, it was in relatively order for what we were going to do, but now we're going to slightly jump kind of out of order from what we had up first, and we will discuss Kyler Murray has decided to enter the NFL draft.
It's the first time really even talking about Kyler.
Yeah, so, well, maybe not the first true time.
I mean, we discussed him at Heisman. We never had a...
But yeah, but obviously this is the big news, him deciding to go to the NFL draft. Certainly a lot of teams really will be interested now at this point. I think most notably, in my opinion, probably your New York Giants are drafting relatively up this year. They do need a quarterback. Obviously, maybe not for next year directly, but they need to get someone in there
absolutely
that's young enough that you can tool underneath Eli.
I wish we were 2 years in the future, and it was Trevor Lawrence instead of Kyler Murray.
But, obviously Kyler Murray's tweet at this point heard around the world. I have declared for the NFL draft. A lot of funny memes have come with it. I declare bankruptcy, Michael Scott.
Yes.
So very interesting points of note. I'll start here. Ken Rosenthal, after the first, I think it was Sunday, when the first big, after the meeting that the MLB and the A's had with Kyler, Ken Rosenthal tweeted about how there's a rival executive, and of course all these guys go nameless, but he goes, from a team perspective, this is the best news that they can hear because Kyler Murray he's extremely good at baseball. I don't think people realize how good he actually is. No. This guy went 9 overall last year in the draft, had a $4.95 million signing bonus, did extremely well last year. I believe it was a combo rookie in A-ball, but I'm not too sure. But this dude can swing a stick. He's a very good outfielder, has obviously a cannon of an arm, but a tremendous fielder.
He's a hitter.
But this rival executive also said, this is a player that baseball needs.
He does.
He said the MLB needs to bend rules here to make sure he stays in baseball. And the MLB is bending some rules, which obviously, as I said, kind of goes down some interesting paths that maybe you don't want to go down, but this is, from an overall health perspective of sport, this is something that you do need. So it's a very interesting place. Now you have a lot of players talking about what he should do and what he thinks he should do. Deion Sanders said today that Kyler Murray should pick up a baseball bat and don't look back. Then you obviously have other guys. A lot of baseball fans don't realize Joe Mauer was technically a two-way player. He was a tremendous football player in the state of Minnesota. You also have Matt Holliday, played football as well.
Jeff Samardzija,
obviously played in Notre Dame. Forgot about him. Todd Helton
Todd
Helton was backup for Peyton Manning.
Yeah, that's right.
But the two I mentioned, Mauer and Holliday, both said he should probably stick with baseball, obviously. So Nick, this is an interesting spot, obviously, for MLB and the A's, but I think overall as a sport, because I think being a two-way athlete is extremely difficult. I think it's almost damn near impossible. So what are you thinking over there? Because this is an interesting spot to be in.
I heard Dion talking about it yesterday, and he makes an excellent point. Kyler Murray is a quarterback.
Yeah.
You need to be at everything when you're the quarterback. You need to get chemistry with your receivers, everybody, offensive line. And Dion, he was a cornerback. So he didn't need to be there all the time. He just needed to play the game. I mean, he needed to be there.
Pretty much, yeah.
But he just needed to play the game, and I think Kyler Murray needs to make a decision. There's no way he can play both.
No.
Not as a quarterback. And I'd love to see him play baseball. Baseball needs him. They do.
Yeah.
They need a star like that. I mean, they have stars. Don't get me wrong. They have stars. But
you have an issue, though, when your star is supposed – and me and you have had this discussion amongst each other in a group setting how – the overall consensus is Mike Trout, but I don't think I could definitely say the superstar of the sport is Mike Trout. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't have a personality. I've said I think Bryce Harper's more the superstar.
I hate when people say he is the face of the game.
I don't think he is. I think if you're going to pick a face of the game, I think it'd probably be a Bryce Harper, where there is personality along with, obviously, the superstar playing ability. So,
and just because of New York, Aaron Judge,
although Judge has a relatively bland personality, not to give too much off track.
Yeah. If we're going personality, he's not the best.
Yeah,
it's not Bryce.
I think to be a face of the sport, you gotta have personality along with obviously your playing ability.
I just know more normal sports fans, not big baseball fans, will know who Aaron Judge is before they know Mike Trout.
Yeah, well, the New York obviously helps, which is weird given the LA market.
That helps a lot, but it's weird. He is in the LA market. They just don't brand the Angels very well.
Yeah, I'm about to say he's just trapped out in Anaheim.
They just don't brand the Angels like they do the Dodgers.
No.
And Machado's gotten popular because of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
If he goes to the Yankees, that'll help even bigger. But, Mike Trout's not the face of the game. He's the best player in the game. But he's not the face. You don't think so?
Nah,
Who do you think? Go to your
I mean, personally, I'm big on Nolan Arenado. But way too far less people know about him than they do Mike Trout.
You got to be a baseball fan to know who he is. Yeah, absolutely. But
I mean, I'll fight people on Nolan Arenado because
it's not even overall field what makes him good either.
No,
he's just good.
Yeah,
and that LeMahieu pickup by the Yankees, really good.
That's big. Yeah,
that is
big. It's big. Well, let's touch on that though. A couple subjects down the line.
Yeah. Just want to throw out Rockies. You got me talking about the Rockies. Yeah. But back to Kyler Murray. I forgot what we were talking about. Kyler Murray, he helps out. He's a face. He's automatically a face, and he helps out Oakland. Mm-hmm. And he kind of looks like Chris Davis a little bit.
That's a lot of people. A lot of people are comparing his game to Chris Davis.
And if you don't know who Chris Davis is, he's a player on the
Can't say
A's.
I fully blame you either, but
no, but the A's, that would help Oakland out. I mean, last big name they really had was Cespedes.
I mean, they got some big names, but only if you really pay attention. Only if you're a baseball fan, they have big names. And Chapman, Olsen, that type deal.
And the thing with Kyler Murray, he's already been in the news a lot on ESPN. Yeah. Once he goes to the pros, plays for Oakland, they'll show every one of his at-bats pretty much.
Yeah.
They'll keep track of him, and that helps out the sport. People will be like, damn, Oakland's good, because Kyler Murray's there. But, I hope he chooses baseball. I have a weird feeling he's not.
No.
I think he's going to the pros, and I think it's a bad decision. He's very short for a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the short argument anymore that's given, obviously, some past track records, especially recently, given, Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl. Baker Mayfield's not exactly on the tall end either, and he's
shorter than
done
them,
well.
Pretty sure.
But yeah, I personally, if you look at it from, in my opinion, a money and a health point, baseball, but I think his true love really is football, though. It will be interesting, though, to see the saga here because he's got. It's weird. He's got like a week left if he wants to withdraw his name from the NFL draft.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a 9-day window that they give him. He declared officially yesterday, so he's got pretty much a week left. So
Then he's officially in.
Officially in, or if he pulls out. So it'll be interesting to see. Kyler Murray's number for baseball is $15 million, which I don't think the A's can do, but the MLB are trying to bend some rules to kind of allow it to happen. But it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens in that saga. So with that in mind, speaking of money, big money, where will Harper and Machado end up here? Because, man, they're really extending it out. The Yankees appear out on both, obviously, at this point. Obviously, Nick, you brought up the LeMahieu signing, kind of takes them out, obviously, the Machado signing. They never even offered Machado anything. I think that they did have a formal meeting with Harper. I think that was more or less not a courtesy, but more or less, obviously, there was mutual interest in both. Be really hard to kind of find a Harper spot with the Yankees in the outfield. Yeah, it appears as though the Phillies and the White Sox are kind of the main two players at this point for them both. I've seen recently the Astros appear to be the mystery team, more or less in on Harper.
Right. The White Sox are a mystery team for Machado.
I don't think they're so much the mystery team anymore. I felt like the White Sox are kind of the front runners for Machado at this point, but it'd be interesting to see any predictions, quick thoughts on that.
Will they sign by spring training?
I think they should. I think they will, obviously. We'll discuss more on that, actually, in the final topic here coming up.
Yeah, that's right. But I think Machado going to the White Sox makes sense for the White Sox. I don't know if it really makes sense for him. What do you think?
Well, I kind of thought that he'll end up going to the White Sox kind of off the bat a little bit. It kind of gave me one of those gut feeling type deals. I know Yadier Alonso is his brother-in-law, and they got him in a trade with the Indians. So obviously that helps. They're close, and the Machado deal that the White Sox have put on the table is for, I believe, it was 8 years and somewhere around the $250 mark, if I'm correct. And then the Phillies, I don't think have leaked out any information what they've offered, but they have said today that they will not sign both Harper and Machado. They'll get one or the other, and that they plan on, depending on either or whoever they get, they'll try and go after and get Kimbrel.
Well, they were interested in both of them.
And Dallas Keuchel. So, be interesting to see what happens there. I get a feeling at this point Harper might go back to the Nationals, although I don't know how their luxury tax situation kind of deals with that.
Didn't he tell him he's leaving?
Yeah, he told him he's leaving, but they've been meeting here a lot the past week and a half. So that'll be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised to see Harper go back if he doesn't. I've said kind of from the get-go Philly if he goes to a new team. Philly's got an interesting setup here coming up because you got Trout coming up here more than likely in 2 years, not 1 year, that will be available.
Do you think Trout would leave the Angels?
For the right price, I think he would. And Philly's his hometown team. He obviously He roots for the Eagles. He roots for the Sixers. He roots for the Flyers. I mean, I think it's something that we've all had in our head. We'd love nothing more than play for our. I mean, obviously here it's a little bit different, but overall in sports, there's nothing like playing for your hometown team. I mean, that's what you hear. So, be interesting. But yeah, that's kind of what I think. I think Harper to the Phillies / Nationals. Even though that's kind of vague, I think Machado ends up with the White Sox.
That's not a bad pick.
No.
I really just don't know where they're going to go.
No.
I could see one still going to the Dodgers. They did do that trade to the Reds.
The Cubs, by the way, I got an update here a few minutes ago. Cubs have taken themselves out of the Harper sweepstakes.
Really?
Yep.
Well, too bad for them, but hope they just sign soon. That's all I really hope, is that they sign soon. But I don't know, Paul. I hope they sign soon.
Yeah, so I think you and me both. I think a lot of people kind of agree on that. Of course, they're not really. I feel like they're the last two bigger dominoes at this point, waiting to fall. They're kind of clogging up everyone behind them a little bit. Obviously, you have two really big name relievers still out on the market. You have Ottavino and Craig Kimbrell. Then also from a starting pitching perspective, you have Dallas Keuchel as well on the market still. Yep. I think those are the bigger names still available, and then you still got guys kicking around, very good players. Curtis Granderson said he's definitely in for another year
in Milwaukee.
No, he's a free agent.
Just in for playing.
Obviously, and he's an outfielder, so he might be the next. Although not long term, he's a good stopgate for a year or two if you're a contending team.
Well, there's a lot of 1-year contracts being signed out there,
yeah.
So
and
why not another?
Some other names kind of getting signed for those. By the way, we'll kind of get a little bit off topic before we jump into the last one. Derek Holland signed a 1-year deal with the Giants. There's an option for 2020. He was there last year, really a renaissance year for him. Did pretty well, all things considered, I thought.
Yeah.
Bartolo Colon wants to come back, obviously, but he's kind of made it known more again. He'll be 46, I think. 46 or 47, man.
Wow.
He's old. But he's still relatively salvageable. You can get a good outing out of him, good 5 or 6 innings, which is what you need pretty much now. Maybe not player free agent news, but Jeff Bannister back with the Pirates.
Yep.
Was a Pirate lifer up until 4 years ago when he went to the Rangers.
Yep,
so
he's back in the front office.
He'll be back. He's a special assistant, I think, to the GM or something like that. So that'll be interesting to watch. I saw an interesting tweet, by the way, too, a little bit of a fun fact for everyone, that the Pirates have the 9th most wins in the past 10 years.
There you go.
So you have that to hang your hat on.
Last 10 years?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, they had some
good runs there for
pretty good years there. So. And they've always been they did have that 150 win season the last 10 years. So
yeah.
It's a good stat.
So obviously, we'll transition to our last topic here with some time winding down a little bit.
Yeah.
You kind of brought it up, Nick, and it's a trend that we've kind of seen now over the past couple of years where MLB superstars kind of slow things up in free agency. Last year, the big name was Jake Arrieta. Ended up signing with the Phillies. I think it was like a week into pitchers and catchers for spring training. It was a really late signing. But yeah, it's an interesting trend. The MLBPA, the Players Association, they're not obviously concerned about it because of these owners. Obviously, they want to get the players. They're obviously the players' union, so they want to get the players paid, get them out on the field, get them benefited, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, this is an interesting time because obviously you got both Harper and Machado now taking their time. Kind of, I wouldn't say they're dead set in their numbers, but they don't really want to move off of the numbers that they got for $300 million being the ballpark. For Machado, Harper said beginning of the year $400 million. I think he's realized that that's got to come down a little bit. But it's setting up for an interesting time in the CBA that's only got 3 full years left in it. December 2021 is when it runs out. These free agent signings and clog-ups like this, it's showing signs that we're going to be in a work stoppage.
Think so.
Post 2021. I don't think so. I don't know. So I think so. I'm not the only one in that. I know I'm not the only one there with that thinking. This is something that a lot of people are kind of worried about. Mostly because of the numbers, and then you also have the Kyler Murray situation that dives deep into obviously minor league pay. A lot of other things are now rising to the surface because of all of this, and it's an interesting question. I'm going to pose it to you. Do you think this trend will continue of players taking their time in the free agency market?
Probably, because there's always the next superstar that's out in free agency, and if that guy, the guy a year before, gets a certain amount of money, that guy's going to want he's going to want more money than that guy. So if he doesn't get that first, so it's going to take a while for him to get that money. This could definitely trend. I don't know about whole work stoppage. I think the rich will get richer. It'd be nice to stop games for a little bit and figure out that we have a problem here. But I just don't see it happening. And I don't know. It might happen. I don't know. But
we obviously got a couple years. Like I said, it doesn't expire until 2021 in December of that year, which obviously puts it post-2021 season.
Yeah, that's a couple seasons away.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think the trend's not going to stop, though. I think superstars are going to hold out to the end so they get the money that they want.
I think a lot of this, too, especially from the union perspective, is not so much for the superstars, but the guys below them. Like I said, and these guys aren't any slouches by any means. Dallas Keuchel had an off year this past year, but his numbers are slightly going down compared to his Cy Young year a couple of years ago. Then you guys still like Craig Kimbrell, Ottavino I brought up. I said Granderson, but there's a ton of other smaller free agents here that, they're all trapped behind these guys, and it's not just, like I said, the superstars. These are guys, sure, they're still going to get paid millions of dollars, but hey, they got their family still they got to worry about. They got other things they got to worry about. It's not, as the umpire said in that video that came out of Terry Collins and the Noah Syndergaard thing, there are other asses in the jackpot. It ain't just Machado. It ain't just Harper. It ain't just Keuchel. It's, the Billy Burnses of baseball. It's the John Ryan Murphys. It's, you know what I mean? It's not just these big guys. It's, you got 24 other guys on the team besides those guys.
Yes.
Traveling with you all year. That they got families, they got needs, that they need to take care of. So I think that's, the bigger issue, too, here is you obviously got a ton of other guys that,
yeah,
and obviously it's, like I said, it's just it's rich guys that are holding up slightly lesser rich guys. Yeah, I get it. Trust me, I understand completely. But like I said,
you're scaring me. Right?
No. Well, like I said, it's you got other people in line that hey, they need jobs, they need employment too.
Yeah.
It's not just them. And another thing too is obviously in New York it doesn't help, but you're a Pirates fan. Pittsburgh is not a big market team. This hinders them in what they can do. Say, maybe more a couple of years ago, if they were trying to get Curtis Granderson when, say like a Harper now was trying to sign, but Granderson's like, I don't know, maybe I can go to this better team. Well, that's not good for the Pirates because you can't get, maybe that third or fourth best available outfielder, in on your roster and in on your team, and better people, better players, better product on the field put a lot more butts in the seats, which means a lot more money.
Yes. And right now they are not doing that. And it's not putting people in the seat and not making money, which is good because put a better team out there. Just saying.
Yeah. So the past, I'll go with the two-shot here because the past couple weeks, it's been a nice little, I'll call it a nice little change of pace for us. We kind of tackled some topics here that, maybe obviously are not maybe true present things going on, but obviously issues in sports that are there and maybe don't get as much discussion, obviously, amongst us. But I kind of like doing stuff like that every now and then. Before we get into our outro and everything like that, me and you kind of talked about, and hopefully we'll obviously not maybe outright say it right now, but, we got some things we're discussing that we want to possibly do here that we're thinking about, and hopefully you guys will like it. I think we'll like it, but obviously we'll discuss got some interesting stuff. Nick had the topics last week about tanking the NBA. I brought obviously the trend for this year with the MLB. Obviously the NFL has got some topics in the NHL. Actually, the NFL and NHL kind of share a topic with brain injuries and CTE. I don't think we'll really get into that. That one kind of gets overplayed too much, I think. Not trying to say it's a bad thing, but I think in that regard, me and you are definitely not the ones to be qualified talking about it. So
no, I
obviously, if we get another week kind of like this, where obviously there's not a ton to talk about, maybe we'll get another topic in there. If you guys liked it, let us
call
know.
in.
Call in, yeah. Like I said, if there's an issue in sports that maybe you want to do, call in. Let us know.
Absolutely.
866-315-3591 extension 804. So with that in mind, like I said, me and Nick will discuss some things too. Hopefully we'll get some awesome things in the pipeline here in the coming weeks during the little bit of a lull time that we got in sports, and maybe get some cool things going. So with that in mind, Nick, who is your shout out of the week?
It's the first ever double shout out.
Whoa.
Yeah. So the Rams won this weekend.
That's true.
I want to shout out a couple Rams fans.
Oh, yeah.
Carlene Mall.
Hey.
And Mr. Anthony Bachman.
Yeah, Rams fans.
Go Rams. I'm rooting for the Rams. I'm picking the Rams now.
Oh, switch up. Okay.
Double shout out. Rams win 40-34.
All right.
Jared Goff, 3 touchdowns.
Awesome.
2 picks.
2 picks.
1 fumble.
Oh, all right.
1 safety.
Okay. So, once again, thanks to everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, you should definitely like, share, subscribe, download the Finger Lakes One app. It's really great, getting all the news and information I need right at the click of my phone. So, with that in mind, we'll catch everyone next week right here.